welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylin. This is Full Purpose and Heart, and I'm super excited that you're here with me today for this video because either A, you just like hanging out with me, which is amazing, but more likely B, you, like the rest of us, are a homeschooler who is looking for some inspiration, some ideas when it comes to the food front in homeschool. This is actually part of a collaboration. I've been thinking about posting a video like this for a while, so when I saw that the collaboration was open over with Jessica at the Walduck Way and Abby over at Rooted in Rest, I decided, perfect, I'm gonna throw my video with the others that I've watched. I watched the entire playlist yesterday, got lots of ideas, so I decided I would throw my ideas in there as well. So if you are a homeschooler or not, and you just want some inspiration, some ideas on how you can organize the food part of homeschooling, then let me share with you the ideas and how I do it. Okay, if you watch the playlist, I will put that in, let's put it up here. It's in the eye in the sky. Click on the playlist and then you can watch it, or the description box below. If you're on a mobile device, then you can find it down there. But if you watch the playlist, you'll see that lots of different moms are taking different approaches on how they can talk about this. Some of them are in their kitchen actually making food with you, showing them their recipes. Others of them are, like me, just sitting in their spaces and talking to you. So I'm gonna take the approach of how I actually plan for school, plan for lunches and breakfasts and kind of how we go about doing that. And then I'll put, if you want the printables that I use, then you can go ahead and do it. It's similar to what other people do. I'm sure that it's not new, but this organization method helps me plan really quickly. So tip number one is that we eat on a rotation, like many of you probably do. Our breakfasts especially are on a rotation. I have 5 breakfasts. I make my children breakfast 5 mornings out of the week. Sometimes 6 if it's a good week. And then one of the days they get cold cereal because, you know, we all want to give our kids that day and a day off for mom. And then Sunday is kind of open kitchen. The kids can eat what they want because we have church early in the morning. So they just kind of, most of them, they just eat cold cereal. So of the 5 days / 6 days that I plan, I just have a rotation. So tip number one is to get your favorite foods and to put them on a rotation. This is how I organize our rotation. Morel menu list, okay? So this column is breakfast, this column is lunch, and this column is snacks and sides. Sometimes when you're planning for food on whatever day you choose to do it, you don't wanna have to always be going to Pinterest or whatever and like thumbing through the millions of ideas that are there. Because yes, there are millions of ideas, but sometimes it's just decision fatigue, having to constantly decide what are we gonna be doing this week. If you want to throw in a new recipe on your rotation, then that's great. But to ease your decision fatigue, put your meals on a rotation. So I have, you can see, more than just 5 ideas here. And so sometimes I'll throw in something different, but by and large, we have the same meals every single day. So tip number 2 is to write out your meals so that your kids, especially your older children, know what meals are coming. Because sometimes they'll be able to actually make it for you and then easing you of that responsibility or that burden. And then other times you can, you know, also that decision fatigue, having to constantly keep in your mind, okay, what are we having today? This is the resource that I use to organize our meals. It's just a notepad here. I actually glued this magnetic strip on the back. I ripped it off of an old menu that I had last year and then put it on this one. I bought this from Amazon. There's lots of different options that you can do. I'll put this particular link and then the one I used last year in the description box below. The difference from the one I used last year and why I chose a different one this year is because last year's was dated and I'm a human, and so I would miss weeks, whether it was vacation or laziness or whatever it was, I would miss weeks, and so then papers would just go to waste and go in the garbage. So to try and save on paper, I guess you could say, or not just be wasteful in my calendaring, I got an undated one. So that's what this one is. So I ripped the magnetic strip off of the dated one from last year and then did a non-dated one. But of course you can obviously use different colors, like color coding makes it fun. If you've been around this channel for a hot minute, then you know color is my jam. So that's why the top is all colorful. Okay, so this is our rotation. We have oatmeal every Monday. We have waffles or pancakes every Tuesday, eggs every Wednesday. And I have eggs on Wednesday because my kids don't like eggs. And I like to feed my kids eggs for all of the reasons that don't need to be mentioned. They're healthy, blah, blah, blah. And so I put them on the same day every week so that my kids know this is the day that we have eggs. And on the day when I feed them eggs, I also will open up my iPad and they'll watch the scripture video of the day, which I have a subscription to. Anyway, we watch that particular video. It's called, what is it called? Oh my gosh. Anyway, we watch that video. I'm trying to give him a shout out. Brother Bowman does Drawn In. That's what it's called. It's called Drawn In. So we watched Drawn In. There's the shout out to Brother Bowman. I'll put his link in the description box below. If you're curious, it follows the Come Follow Me curriculum. Okay, if you know, you know. Okay, so that's what my kids watch on egg day because I know they don't like eggs. There's another little tip for you. Thursday is my rotation day. So I will use my little rotation list when I'm planning and just pick something out here. Sometimes it's simple like bagels and cream cheese. Sometimes it's just yogurt and fruit or maybe a smoothie, and I'll buy some cinnamon rolls, you know, pre-made cinnamon rolls at the grocery store, cook those up for the kids. So some kind of a rotation. We'll do like ham and cheese croissants or anyway, that's what this list is for. So when you're building out this list, then this is when you're gonna go to Pinterest and just anything that jumps up that you think is easy enough or you have the ingredients most of the time, blah, blah, blah. That's what you do this with, okay? So that's breakfasts. Lunches are the same way. I have, it's less rotated and more, I don't know, more of kind of like a free-for-all, or kind of like this list. I'll just kind of go through this list. It is a little more Pinteresty in the sense that I'm like, what can I feed my kids that's interesting? Anyway, I just write them on here in, this week I did it in blue. Sometimes we're here at home and sometimes we're away. Now, if you go to the playlist for this collaboration, there's just a real good mix of different things for when you are out and about and you need to pack a lunch, or you're having a picnic lunch with a co-op or whatever it is. There's some different ideas of how you could go about doing that. We likewise have one day that we're always out with the co-op, and usually another day that we're out either on a field trip with the co-op kids or on our own or whatever. That packing lunches needs to happen. And in those senses, it's often like adult Lunchables or sandwiches, or just like, my kids love it when we go out because it's on those days that I'll have prepackaged crackers or chips or, you know, fruit or whatever it is, in the sense that they'll be able to have a school lunch. And as a homeschooler, I often either prepare my kids something hot for lunch, or they'll just make themselves what we call small plates, which is just kind of a hodgepodge of whatever we've got in the house. So that is my tip for breakfast and lunch. Now, the last tip that I want to leave you with is my snack menu. Now, this is something that helps me shop, because I can just go through this list and I'll know what I have on hand and what I need to restock on. And B, it helps with my kids to make sure that they're not always going for those fast snacks. I know that it's a popular trend. Someone on Instagram will always say, like, if we're eating at home, you can't have a packaged snack. You need to have like a piece of fruit or a vegetable or something that you can whip up and make. And I don't carry that rule along with me, but the rule that I do carry is that I have 4 columns here, and my kids need to have a snack from either 1, 2, or 3 before they can have column 4. So column 1 is my proteins, and I just listed some fast protein options that my kids can grab either from the fridge or the pantry. Things like hard-boiled eggs, chicken salad or tuna salad. I'll regularly have those pre-made in the fridge when I do my meal preps at the beginning of the week. I'll usually choose one or the other. And if I don't have it on hand, most of my kids know how to make tuna salad, so then they'll make it themselves. Yogurt, string cheese, a protein smoothie, which is something that you can just purchase at the grocery store already pre-made, or you can teach your kids kind of how to make those protein granola bars. And then Monster Balls, again, this is something, it's a recipe on Pinterest you can find all over the place, and I'll just have those and whip them up. I don't do it every week because my kids will wipe them out in 2 days. They're so good, but I will, usually twice a month I try to have some in the fridge for the kids, okay? the list of vegetables that I have on hand, and then at the bottom I have the dips in case they need some inspiration, list of fruits that we'll have on hand, and then the carbs section is if we're in a lazy zone of life, then this is what the kids always go to. Things like crackers, popcorn, chips and salsa, bread, toast, granola, trail mix, those types of things will be in the carb section. So when my kids are like, Mom, can I have a snack? Then the conversation usually is, sure, have you had 1, 2, or 3 yet? And they'll be like, no. We'll be like, okay, cool. Have something from 1, 2, or 3, or a combination of any of those. Then you can have something from 4. And I won't let them just pig out on crackers, because everybody knows that if you have 17 handfuls of crackers, you're still going to feel hungry 7 minutes later. So this is a great tip too as well. This was a printable. I just kind of threw it together. So I will actually take a minute and throw this printable down in the description box below. It will be in Canva because that's how I built this. So if you don't have a free Canva account, just go make an account and then you'll be able to pull this up and edit it as you want. It'll just be a really quick, easy sheet. And then maybe I'll try and, this isn't anything special. This is just a bunch of, columns put together with food that we eat. I could whip it up for you and then you can make it editable so you can take stuff off. So maybe I'll try and do that to make this video a little more worthwhile and a little more valuable for you. So anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully it gave you some inspiration and ideas on how you can streamline the lunch lady responsibility that we take on as homeschoolers and with our kids. And again, make sure that you check out the playlist. I'll put that in the eye in the sky so you can get more ideas of how other people run their homeschool lunch lady responsibilities, and leave a comment down below because I'd also like to know how you do it too. So if you're new, feel free to consider subscribing. My channel is all about homeschooling and what we're doing here on our side of the mountain. I'd love to have you, and hit that bell so you don't miss another video when I update it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.